The following podcast is brought to you by the Johners Podcasting Network, found exclusively at wrestlingwithjohners.com.
I am very fortunate today to be joined by Wheezyblonde, who is one of the five pillars that I like to call. There's Mr. Tesk, there's Minnie, there's Wheezy, Conman, and Santi. Wheezy, you are a streaming sensation, your TikToks. What makes you real is your reactions and you're emotional, and that's what I like about you. You are one of my favorites. So the fact that you are on now doing this with me is, well, you like to call it a lottery ticket.
Yeah, I did call it a lottery ticket because I do get a lot of requests for people that want to do podcasts because everybody has a podcast. I have a podcast, you have a podcast. So it really is just depending on my planning day for me to go in my messages and get them and see one and be like, okay, yeah, I'll do one for the month. And that's how I end up here. But I did see you interviewed Minnie, and Minnie is one of my greatest friends. I love her very much. So I was like, yeah, sure. And I did hear you talk about your pillars situation and how you were trying to get more of them on or speak to them. And you had said kind things about me in your interview videos also. So it helped a little, I will say.
And then what also helped is me giving you the amazing pitch that I did in your let's call it Twitter DM.
The picture? Oh, wait.
No, the pitch.
Oh, the pitch. That's I thought you said picture. I'm like, did you send a picture? No, you didn't. Yes, you did. You did. You explained everything really thoroughly, and those are the things that help is what the subject matter is, examples of what you've done, who you've done, and your basic plot. Like all of that helps a lot. The more information for me, the better.
It helps and it goes a long way. So the thing is, with you, where do we even start? You have had a busy 2024. You recently did TwitchCon. How was that?
It was good. It was my second time going. When I went last year, it was my first time going. I had just hit partner, and I hit partner on Twitch very quickly. I did it, I think, within 6 months. It might have been just a little less.
Yeah.
And I was still learning when I went. I went with a couple friends and did a lot of panels to learn things. This year when I went, I am in a completely different position. I think last year when I went, I had 4,000 followers. Now I just hit 20,000 on just Twitch alone. And it was, after CM Punk returned, The Rock, WrestleMania, all of that. And it was massive. It was large. We had a really, really great time. I learned a lot, met a lot of wrestling fans. We had a panel of just wrestling creators and wrestling fans, and I loved it. It was one of my favorite experiences that I've had going to conventions.
And let's just throw this photo up here. There's one of you at TwitchCon.
Yeah, that's me acknowledging in front of the dinosaur at TwitchCon. Conman took this photo. Conman! Yeah! Good guy, Conman. The other guy we don't like.
Conman. Santi.
Yes. We know who's that guy. But Conman, good guy, Conman. We like Conman. But yeah,
So sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
So you mentioned, obviously, you threw one up. So the question is, who's your tribal chief?
Oh, my tribal chief is Roman Reigns. My tribal chief is Roman Reigns. What the people will tell you, or what the people will bring up, is that I had a moment of weakness. And I did acknowledge Solo Sikoa for a brief moment. And there are moments where it leaks back in. It's moments of weakness. It's being human. Because Roman Reigns left Solo in charge, okay? Solo was the enforcer, and Roman Reigns held his title for as long as he did because of Solo. So for that reason, I acknowledge Solo. And people just love to throw it in my face. Now, I acknowledge Roman. He's my OTC. I throw the ones up. I'm not veering from that.
Yeah. I would say Roman's everyone's OTC, tribal chief.
There's one person that's not. His name's Malcolm. Muscle Man Malcolm. Interviewer.
He loves Tongaloa. He's a big Tongaloa fan.
I'm a Tongaloa fan. You're kidding me? Oh my God, it's my eye patch king. We love Tongaloa. Shoot. Be great.
Do you think last night at Bad Blood, Roman Reigns got a bigger reaction compared to Cody Rhodes?
I would say yes, but I think that was the entire point of the match. I don't think that it should be viewed as this narrative of, oh, Roman Reigns got a more bigger reaction than Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes isn't as over. Oh my God. Oh my God. That was the entire point of that match. That match was not based on Cody Rhodes. That match was based on the bloodline. It was based on the build of the bloodline moving forward. It was created so that The Rock could return. It was created so that Jimmy Uso could return. So I don't think that it really matters that people view it that way, because Cody Rhodes was the outlier in that situation. Everybody in that ring had relation to each other, and there was a bigger story there than just Cody Rhodes. So those are my thoughts on it. I know people like to spin in circles all day long talking about, oh, but it was a bigger reaction.
How would you book Roman Reigns from now till WrestleMania?
I'm really terrible with questions like that because a lot of the time I don't fantasy book, and I try not to look too far ahead. The biggest thing about my platform is that I am a consumer and I am a fan, and I like to take things as they come, and I like to not put out there too much what I would like to see, because I am not the one that writes the story. I'm not the one that books the show. It's like watching a movie. I don't want to write the movie and then watch it. Like I want to just see what happens. So from now to WrestleMania, where I want Roman to be, I can't. I'm also so brain dead from last night because it was such a long night and such a crazy emotional night that I can't even think of where like I would want him to be or who I would want to see him against at the moment. Like I'm sure he's going to be a main event at Mania. Is it going to be Cody? Is it going to be The Rock? Is it going to be all three of them? There's 50 million different possibilities, and I can't even begin to think of which one it could be.
Do you think him and Jacob Fatu will tear it down at some point before Survivor Series?
Well, before Survivor Series, I don't know, but I do think that will happen at some point. And it'd be
That would
great.
be really good. Jacob is, since he's come to WWE has been amazing.
He has, and I understand, and people have told me that he has been before as well, and he's definitely showing it, and I love that they're allowing him to. He's brought a whole nother level of importance and like just shit to the new bloodline. So I think he was a good addition.
Yeah. The Rock coming back has changed the landscape of wrestling earlier this year. And then how it all turned around, with The Rock and should have been facing Roman Reigns, and it turned around to be Cody Rhodes. I think The Rock coming back has played a massive part in wrestling in 2024. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The Rock coming back is, I just made a video about it last night, is the main reason I get to sit here and do what I do. Whether you like it or not, The Rock is so important to the landscape of professional wrestling. His family built the bricks for what is there right now with the whole bloodline story. So anytime that he comes back, views go up, traffic goes up, interest goes up. The numbers are there. The proof is in the pudding. So yeah, he's pivotal to the professional wrestling industry just in general.
100%. And well, from now till WrestleMania, it's going to be an incredible 6 months for that storyline, which has been going on, well, we know since 2020, COVID.
The long game. It's the long game.
Very long, and it's like I don't think WWE, well, we know before Triple H took over that storylines used to end like within 2 to 3 months. But since COVID, stories have been, would you agree that stories have gotten a lot better?
Yes, absolutely. I think that stories have gotten better. The problem is that it's a new concept. Not that the stories being better is a new concept, but the length of the stories and how they're booked and how long they last is new to people. So we have a lot more comments and observations of people saying that things are stale. Like, oh, this is boring already. Why are we still doing this? Oh, this is boring. Why are we still doing this? And I think it just shows the lack of attention and the lack of understanding of storylines from the general public or from a specific generation. That's just the name. This is the way of the world in 2024. People want everything now. They want instant gratification. They don't understand that a story is being told because they don't see it that way sometimes. Some people see things really black and white. They don't see this as a story. They see this as a wrestling match, physicality, two things happening between another person, and one person's going to win, one person is not. Not the fact that the bloodline story in itself, as an example, is an entire saga of of just trials and tribulations and emotions and a family that's split down the middle. They don't see that deepness of it.
Yeah, and I completely agree with you on that one. So Triple H has been taken over WWE for the last 2 years coming up now. What's the 3 things that you like to the new Triple H era?
3 things that I like from the Triple H era. I like the shorter match cards on PLEs. I think it flows better. It's easier for me to pay attention. I think that you're able to get more invested and appreciate it more because they're given more time to focus on fewer things. Another thing I like is the way that the women's division has been showcased and the way that they have worked more towards not only building the women's division, but the women's tag division. And you can tell that they've been trying different things, pulling back on different things. There's a lot more trial and error that feels purposeful and that people aren't quite as upset about as far as the people that are the ones doing the trial and error. And the third thing, I don't know if it's really Triple H coded. I really like the change in production. The change in
Yeah,
production. The camera angles, the entrances, just everything in general feels like it makes so much more sense and it's way more enjoyable to watch. I think when it first started happening, we all really clocked in on it and they've just continued to prove that, yeah, this was a good change. I like this. It flows better.
yeah, and I agree with you on all 3 of them. I think Triple H's era is really popular right now, and I think WWE, not just WWE, but wrestling as a whole in 2024 is similar to what it was, I will say, in the Attitude Era. It's getting more and more popular, I would say.
I would say it's better. I would say it's better in a lot of different ways. I think that it's very popular, but it's popular for the right reasons. And not that the Attitude Era was popular for the wrong reasons, but yeah, it kind of was. So when people say that they want to bring it
Yeah,
back for specific reasons, it's kind of like, well, I understand that because I was an Attitude Era kid. I started watching when Stone Cold won King of the Ring. So I get it, but no, man, this is one of the best. This is the best time. I'm not afraid to say it. This is literally the best time.
yeah. What would you say AEW needs to do to break 1 million views? Because the last time they did that, a certain CM Punk was there.
I would say preface this by saying I really enjoy AEW when it first started. I watched it for 2 years consecutively. I was a massive AEW fan. I loved that time in wrestling. I really did. I think it's better for me to not criticize what they're doing in the ring or production wise because that's not my job. I'm not a wrestler. That's not what I do. But I would say if they would utilize more online tactics and not to say like like content creation what I do, but interact a little bit more, kind of get themselves out there more with the general audience because they're the ones that watch and they're the ones that interact with things and I think that would maybe help and not have to rely on the views of someone like CM Punk, like when CM Punk came back and people that were on WWE and were popular. If they want to build their own organic following, I feel like they have to do something a little different with as far as engagement goes. That seems to be the best thing for me. But other than that, I don't know. It's not my job to figure out how to get views or what kind of wrestling is going to draw more views. That's Tony's job.
Definitely. You, like we mentioned, is well known for Twitch, TikTok, YouTube, pretty much everything. What would you say is your favorite to use? Like, what's your favorite app to use for streaming?
Twitch and YouTube are basically neck and neck. My Twitch community is my favorite. So the reason I say Twitch is my favorite is because I've built a community there. And so when I go on to do my watch alongs, my chat is very much all usernames and people that I know. And I've perpetuated a very positive, level headed community. We really don't put up with any crap. So I'm able to actually go in and talk and bounced thoughts back and forth, and I've gotten to know a lot of those people. So that's probably my favorite because it's just the most positive. It's the most easygoing. I don't feel like I'm constantly being criticized. I just get to watch wrestling. It's almost like watching wrestling with your friends.
Yeah, I agree with that one. You have been, like you mentioned, a wrestling fan since Stone Cold won the King of the Ring in '96. What is that when you first properly became a wrestling fan?
I was so little. I will preface. I was like 5. But yes, because my dad and I watched from then well into the early 2000s. And then I stopped watching when I went to high school, which was about 2006, and didn't really. I checked back in here and there around, after I graduated just a little bit. I came back fully about 2016. But yeah, when I was a kid, I was fully invested. I was just like the kids that you see at the shows that loved everything that was going on, even though the climate of the Attitude Era was what it was. That was just, it was just the way things were. You didn't think too much of it.
What first hooked you towards wrestling?
Well, thinking back to being a kid, I don't know that there was too much of a thought process as a kid because I just did it because my dad was doing it, right? It was just entertaining. But as an adult, choosing to watch it again and realizing why I'm still invested in it, I usually give the answer that I am both a theater kid and an athlete. And professional wrestling is a perfect mix of both of those things because not only do you have the choreography, the athleticism, and the things that they need to do, but you have these storylines and these larger than life characters and the pageantry of it. And there's really nothing else like it that melds all of those different components together. And so that's probably the biggest reason that I like it. It's such a unique thing. It's not something that everybody likes. It's a niche thing,
Yeah, I see what you mean by that one. Wrestling in the Attitude Era, even now, is if you ask anyone, like wrestling, people have their different opinions on the Attitude Era, the Ruthless Aggression Era, like what they like.
Mhm.
Like you mentioned, you're the Attitude Era, like where you grew up, so you know what's your favorite. So with me, I'm a 2000s baby, so I grew up with the John Cena,
Mhm.
and it's a shame that he's coming up to his final year next year. Which brings me on to another question: who do you think? Well, you say you don't like going like too far ahead, but who do you think?
It's gonna be my answer.
Yeah,
I can give you like a roundabout of the thing because I get asked these
yeah.
questions all the time. I have an answer.
Who do you think the right person would be for John Cena's final opponent?
Okay. My answer to this is because the entire year of 2025 is John Cena's retirement year. We don't know what's going to come up and what's going to cook in that time. Right now, I know a lot of people want to go, okay, my immediate thought is Randy Orton. Like, oh, that makes perfect sense. Absolutely. We can have the Legend Killer. We can have John Cena go at it one more time. There's certain aspects where I think of, oh, The Rock, because, they had their feud. But I try to remember that 2025 is a long year. There are people that could come rise to the top that we don't even know yet. It's a long game, and John Cena is very much the kind of person that he might want to go out putting someone over. And so some people have to prepare for that. And I wouldn't mind seeing it. I wouldn't mind seeing it. So it might be Randy Orton, but
There's people in WWE who he's had like a fair brief history with, isn't it? Really. So there's Roman, there's CM Punk who's now come back.
Mhm.
There's Randy Orton, which would be the perfect option.
Mhm.
There's all these people that he's going to want to face on his like way out. Like Kevin Owens, he's had brief history with him. Cody Rhodes, he's not faced yet, so that'll be like a match that he would like to have.
Austin Theory.
Yeah, I mean, Tonga Loa.
That'd be perfect. Do that. Actually, that's the answer. No, that's my answer. Tongaloa. That's it. Puppy.
Sorry,
Hi, puppy.
sorry. I'll get down. Yeah, sorry about that. Little dog. But yeah, whoever he faces on the way out, I think he should put him over. If it's a young talent, he should put him over.
Right. That's the thing. I don't know. Like, if it's a younger, he could. I can't think of how I would like it to be. I don't know if I want John Cena's final to be a teary-eyed, he lost in the middle of the ring, or if I want him to go out, with a blaze of glory. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Whoever it'll be, it's going to be a sad year for 2025 because think about it. Recently, you've had Triple H retire, you've had like The Undertaker, you've had all these greats, like from your era that you would say like the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
Even Batista said he won't come back to tarnish his legacy. I think it's very sad how Triple H went out.
It sucks. It's unfortunate. It is, the way is the way of the world. It's the way of life, and I applaud him for doing it the way that he did and being smart and prioritizing not only his health but his family. And he still gets to have his, his fingers in the business though. I think he really finds joy in that, and I think that that's kind of filling his cup since he wasn't able to end the way that he wanted to. But sometimes I almost think that that's better. Sometimes I almost think it's better because you could just have people, you could have Ric Flairs of the world that retire God knows how many times we're at right now. So maybe it's better that there's never going to be an answer of what could have been. Like, no, I think it's almost more poetic that way.
Yeah. His final match was against a little brawl with Randy Orton in the Performance Center, which through COVID, which is quite sad, but like you mentioned, sometimes that's the best way, to go out.
I think so. And I think he's doing great. And I don't think it's something that he is dwelling on or something that he, he doesn't strike me as the type in the interviews that I've watched to really feel bad for himself or wallow on it. It is what it is. And again, I think he prioritized his health and his family. And I think he's just grateful to be alive and be here. And I think more people should probably, I don't know, look at a lot of things that way.
Yeah. I see where you're coming from with that one. You've been streaming for how many years now and doing reaction videos and Twitch and TikTok and YouTube?
I started on TikTok 4 years ago, but streaming and reactions, I think we're going on 2 years.
What made you decide to do streaming? Did you? Sorry.
No, you're fine. I started on TikTok, so I was doing lives that weren't watch-alongs. I just liked to go on lives and just chat with the audience. I would do Get Ready With Me's. I would talk about football. I would talk about wrestling and just be with my phone, just my phone on vertical. And there was a period of time where, the first time that they talked about getting rid of TikTok and it going away. And so I decided to branch out to different platforms. I had a couple different friends that were streaming on Twitch. And so I made the painful transition to Twitch and figuring out how all of that worked because it was not easy. It's taken a long time to finally really learn how the hell it even works. And it was a slow start, but I had a little bit of an audience already from TikTok. And the more we did it, the more people jumped on and tried to do it. And it's just snowballed into what we have now. And the return of The Rock and CM Punk and just Triple H taking over in general has made it as lucrative and as doable as it is. Because otherwise, I don't think that we'd really be able to be at the level that we're at right now.
Yeah. What is some of the opportunities that you've had that you are like the big opportunities that you're like, wow?
What have I done?
I think that's the question.
I mean, there's things I can say and things I can't say, but I got when CM Punk came back, I was in the video package of reactions on Raw and SmackDown. I have been in when The Rock slapped who slapped who? The Rock slapped Cody at the WrestleMania kickoff. I was in the Rock, a reel that The Rock had made and posted on his Instagram page. I got featured in the WrestleMania 40 documentary.
That's crazy.
What the heck else? I've gotten to go to a lot of conventions and meet a lot of amazing people, a lot of wrestling conventions. Yeah, and just even bigger opportunities, and that's the coolest thing is just I'm not one of those people that will talk about a lot of the people that I've gotten to talk to or the things that I've gotten to do or will get to do, but trust that there are just so many cool things and opportunities out there, and I can't believe I'm in this position, truthfully.
You are, like I mentioned, you are one of the 5 best streamers and reactions that I have seen, and what I
Thank you.
think it's all right. The job that I do, I work nights, and I see you, Minnie, Mr. Tech, Santi, do you not all do your little streams at like 7 o'clock in the morning for the because I'm in the UK, so it's
Okay.
like it'll be like 7 o'clock for you over there, but it'll be
Yeah.
like 3 o'clock in the morning for me,
Yep.
and I'm like, okay, I'll watch it, and then it gives me something to do, like on breaks and stuff like that, and I enjoy it. And do you know what I like about yours is, like we mentioned earlier, your reactions are genuine, live. Do you know what I mean? There and then, and you get emotional sometimes. What would you say is that triggers that for you?
That's good timing. I just feel life very deeply. I think I used the word black and white again earlier, but I don't see life as black and white. The life experiences that I've had and the people that I've met and the things that I've gone through and the things that I've seen other people go through, I have a very sensitive relationship with just life in general and enjoying things in life. And when my reactions to professional wrestling are both rooted in my own experiences with wrestling, but then they also get related to just different times in my life. So anytime that you get a veteran on, or you have, like we had The Rock, last night, I very much get brought back into remembering that I was a kid and professional wrestling was one of the few things that I really had to enjoy and focus on when I was a kid. And not only that, it's brought me so many crazy opportunities, and it lets me live this life and do this dream of being able to work online like I always wanted to. So I just feel life. I just feel life deeply, and I respect life, and I think that's the best answer I can give, is that I just see things differently than a lot of people in the world probably do.
Yeah, I know. That's a good answer, and I like that. One other moment that I've seen you get emotional was Paul Heyman at the Hall of Fame earlier this year.
Yeah. Yeah. So Paul Heyman, if what made me so emotional about Paul Heyman's retirement speech is, again, my connection to life and the understanding that you are not here forever, and that somebody like Paul Heyman was able to do all of this cool shit his entire life, and all these accomplishments and things that he's done, and being able to be on a stage and be admired by his peers and show emotion himself, and then being able to see the fruits of his labor and having his kids there admiring him, and my own relationship with his work and how I've identified with it and how it's made me happy over the years. It just, yeah, it triggers an emotional response. And I'm dealing with this right now online, is because I cried. I cried last night when Jimmy Uso came back and The Rock came out. And I genuinely, and it's one thing to not be an emotional person and not cry. I get that. It's another thing to not be an emotional person, not cry, and not understand that other people feel their emotions in a different way and feel their emotions deeper than they do, and not understand that and talk down to them for it. Because crying is not only a response of being sad, and it blows my mind that there are so many people out there that think that. I cannot fathom that people think that you only cry because you're sad, or that you can look at something like professional wrestling that somebody loves and be like, it's not that serious. I can't believe you'd cry at that. Because I feel bad for those people. I feel bad for them because they're here on this planet experiencing life, just like going through the fucking motions and not feeling things. Like, you're not gonna cry when if you're someone that has kids or wants kids. You're not gonna cry when your kids do cool shit. Like, you just created a whole life, and you're not emotional about, and people blow my mind.
you know what? I can relate on everything what you've just said. Like I get emotional a lot. I will be, and what gets me emotional is about wrestling is, so for example, you've got like Jimmy and Jay come back. Well, no, not Jimmy and Jay. You got Jimmy and The Rock. They came back last night.
Mhm.
Two unexpected things. We knew The Rock was in Atlanta, but he's been in other places in America before when WWE's been in that location, but he's never turned up. But the fact that they came back, it's continuing that story. And what makes the Bloodline story so special is it's family.
Yeah.
And family is the most important thing in life.
Yes.
And that touches me. And then also another thing that touches me is whether I'll be watching a TV show or whether I'll be watching a film or I'll be watching a film that's got an actor in it that I can relate to. I'll give a prime example, Fast and Furious 7.
Mm.
Paul Walker.
Yeah.
That guy loved his family. I was a big Fast and Furious fan. I still am, even though I think
I
some
was
of the
too. I haven't seen any
even though
more.
I think some of the films are far fetched, but I still love it because it revolves around family. And I think that what they did in the end, like when he just when he drives off and then you know see you again and then you just see it comes up for Paul. It's just like, do you know, it just melts your heart. And do you know,
Oh, I
for
was a wreck.
I,
I was a wreck. Yeah.
I cried. And even another film, Pearl Harbor, right?
Oh God.
From 1999.
Gut wrencher. That's a gut wrencher. Holy shit. Yeah.
Films like that, like him dying and then comes back for his wife, but then he's best friends with his wife. Do you know, it's just stories and it's like sometimes it can happen in real life and you can relate. So I love things that it's like I love things that's based on true story, or you see sadness around the world, but then sometimes it gets better, sometimes it doesn't. But do you know what I mean? It touches me.
And there needs, and that's a big reason I'm a proponent for it on my platform. It needs to be safe for people to express their emotions, especially men. Men get so much crap for expressing their emotions as if they're not allowed to
100%.
be, like they're not allowed to be emotional beings. And my audience is 90 something percent men. It really is. And it's just because I'm going to talk to them and I'm going to treat them like human beings and tell them, hey, it's okay. Like if you're emotional, like I really want to hit that point home all the time. And they thank me for it because it blows my mind that that's not considered an okay thing. It makes me angry.
Yeah, 100%. And I agree with everything you've just said. It's like, I won't dive too much into it, but in 2022 and 2023, not so much 2023, but 2022 was like, should have been a good year for me.
Mhm.
Yeah, stuff happened in the outskirts. Like I got bullied at work and stuff like that. And I got married that year and it was good, great.
Mm.
But on the inside at work, you know, stuff was being made like my life a living hell. My car got vandalized. You know what I mean? And then
Oh God, yeah.
things got personal, and I had to move. And I was trying to move my work, and I've been trying for the last year and a half. I tried 2023 back in the last year, and I got it, but then I got declined. So then this year I applied, and in the end I got it, and it was just like you know, it's a sign of relief, and I was just so grateful that I did. But what helped me is I won't say spoke out, but I told everyone my problems and it helped. So the big thing, like you mentioned, for men, there's what should we call it, a stigma in the world
Yeah, yeah.
that we shouldn't speak out, or like you mentioned, we shouldn't cry, we shouldn't this.
Right.
I think it's very important for men to express their emotions and feelings
Very.
because mental health matters and it's a very important thing in the world. Not just for men, but for females as well.
No,
It's mental
absolutely.
health is big, especially in 2024, because 4 years ago we had COVID, and I'm pretty sure in America, you know, in the UK, we got told to go on a lockdown for so many months by Boris Johnson. So it was a bit, you know, hectic.
Oh
So
yeah.
that a lot on people's minds as well.
Yep. There needs to be less suck it up. There needs to be less suck it up, rub dirt on it. Like there's a point where that's okay, but at the same point, you've got to be able to let people express themselves, and you've got to be able to let people feel things, and it's okay. It's okay. It needs to be more normal.
Yeah. And what helps me is professional wrestling, to be honest.
It's a lot of people. Me too. Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. I'm a basket case, but man, I love watching me some wrestling. It'll make my whole night so much better.
100%. And do you know what else helps me? To
Hmm.
be honest, is this podcasting that I've started. I've made it my mission in 22. There's like a little backstory. So 2023, I had Alex Zane as my first guest.
Okay.
And then I was on and off because I thought, oh, I'm never going to make it big. I'm never going to do this, and the other. So then all of a sudden, I did like 5 guests last year. And then I decided to make it a full permanent thing this year. And the people that I have had on, I wouldn't have dreamed of having, i.e., Minnie, Mrs. Tesh, I've had Malcolm, I've had Zilla Fatu, I've had Jacob, I've had Bobby Fish, I've had numerous other people. And the fact, like I said, the fact that I've had you on, I call it the 5 pillars, so I only need 2 more. So Conman, Santi, if you're watching this, yeah, definitely.
You suck. No, they're great. No, at the end of the day, we're all just people. At the end of the day, we're all just people. And, I would have never thought that I would be continuing to do this, or that I would have made it into what it is. It was such a small, simple thing when I started. And now, like I said, I was up till 5 a.m. last night recording and editing videos. And I have one more to do today, because you got to jump on things when they're hot in my world. And so, because of everything that happened last night, well, now's prime time. People are looking it up. You've got to make it. You've got to post it. And that's my job. That's what I do. And I don't hire people because I'm a control freak. So I do all my own. I do everything. I'm a one-woman show. I do everything myself. So your girl's tired.
Well, before we came on, you uploaded a video 30 minutes ago. So, and that was the Rocks one.
Yeah. And see that. Yeah. And that was a goof. Well, which video did I upload? I had so
I don't
many.
know. I saw it quick, but before we came on, and it's like your thumbnail with you in the corner, then you've got the Rock.
Oh yeah, that was my review. So that, and then see, I was so tired last night. I thought I scheduled that to be released at 8 a.m. Eastern. And I scheduled it for 8 a.m. Eastern tomorrow, not today. So I woke up and it wasn't posted. I'm like, what the shit? And it was for tomorrow. So I had to go in and just post it immediately. Like, so much for scheduling stuff. Didn't even work.
It happens, doesn't it?
I screwed up. I do it all the time. There's so many things that go wrong daily.
It
Daily.
happens. So, how do you cope with your family life, like slash normal life, and this? Because, like we mentioned before, you came on. You are very, very busy. You record like, should we say, like 4 times a week, like streaming
Yeah.
and reactions and stuff, and then not counting the extra hours that you do recording, reactions, like prepping, editing, creating the thumbnails. There must be like you mentioned, you didn't finish till 5 a.m. this morning.
Yeah.
So how do you juggle it all?
I'll be 1000% transparent and honest. I currently, and have been for a long time, I am actively in burnout mode. Actively. Um and I can't even go back and think of when it started, but I work a full-time job right now, as well. I've been a hairstylist for 11 years. So I
Mm.
work Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday at my real job, 10 hours a day. And that's about to change in 2 weeks. I'm going to go down to 2 days, so 20 hours instead. And I also was a competitive weightlifter and had a weightlifting schedule. And I have a family and a husband and just a social life. And I had some stuff happen in my family at the beginning of the year. And so just spiraled, crash and burn. So juggling all of it was just something I just, out of sight, out of mind, started doing. I didn't think. I just made things happen when they could happen. But I just got sicker and sicker and more tired. And I have fully developed insomnia. And I'm actively working through it. Like, it is what it is. It's one of those things that people will act like it's not a thing. I try to be human and let people know, hey, we're all just walking meat suits that have anxiety. But I I try now to keep a calendar and a schedule and have specific days that I do specific things. Like Sundays, typically, I don't do anything after 2, 3 o'clock. Like that's usually my cutoff time. And then I try to do things after work. It's really just I have massive ADHD also. So multitasking is kind of my jam, but that's also just how you burn out too because you're doing 10 different things at one time and you're never actually getting anything fully done. But I wish I had a good answer for people on how to juggle because I just do it. And sometimes to my own detriment, but it's noticing when things are going south that you need to stop, take a step back and be like, "Okay, I need to figure something out because this isn't going well. I need to take care of myself." Like that's where people screw up. You gotta make sure that you're still taking care of yourself.
100%. You mentioned obviously about juggling things, but women are good at in general at juggling things, aren't they?
From my experience, yes. We wear so many hats and have so many different things that we have to do, and I don't even have, nearly as much as some others. I don't have kids or anything like that, so that's one thing that I don't have to do, but we've always just been expected to, and we've always just been expected to get shit done, and if we get shit for the most part, most of us, if we get shit done ourselves, we know it's done right, and so we're doers. I was raised by a single dad. Like, I just do shit. I just do it. Because if I don't do it, it ain't gonna get done.
That's very true. You mentioned obviously you've got a husband.
Mhm.
Is he a wrestling fan?
No. No, not at all. Nope, never has been. He's a good sport though. And I hid from him the first few years of our relationship that it was even something that I really liked. And I just happened to start watching again, on a random Friday night. He worked nights at the time and he came home and was just like, "What's that? What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm watching SmackDown." But he's gone to shows with me, he's gone to a few conventions with me, he likes live shows, but it's not his cup of tea, it's not his form of entertainment that he likes, and, that's okay. I think it's a foreign concept for some people, but the biggest thing is that he's still respectful about it. He doesn't run around and tout, "Oh, she watches that fake shit," or he doesn't talk down to me about it. He never has. He lets me be me, and I let him be him.
Have you tried to get him into it like full time?
No, no, I don't think I've really tried. Because I think it would hurt my feelings more to share something that I really love with somebody and them just not be receptive to it. Like, I've taken him to the live shows and he likes it. I took him to SummerSlam last year. I took him to a Monday Night Raw and he reacted to things and he thinks it's fun, but he's not gonna keep up with a 3-hour show. He's just not.
Yeah. So you are also known for streaming a lot. Right? We said like 4 times plus a week.
Mhm.
What's your setup like? How many monitors or screens do you like try and look at once?
It's changed. I mean, I've tried everything under the sun. I've changed my setup a lot. Right now, what I have landed on is I have a 45-inch curved OLED right in front of me here. That's my main monitor. And so I utilize that by using different windows. So I don't ever have one full screen of the show. Like it's a window and then I have chats on one side, my vertical recording on the other side, browser, uh alert box, and then I have another monitor back here behind me that you can see half of if you're full screen. And I keep like my OBS over there, my Discord, anything else that I need to do. The most that I've ever had is 4 monitors, and those were like, a vertical and two 32s and a 34. I've tried all kinds of different configurations, but this has been my favorite. Like just one bigger screen works a lot better.
Yeah. What would you say to anyone who's wanting to like jump on the recording slash reactions streaming for whether that's for YouTube, TikTok? What would you say for like any advice or trying to start somewhere?
The biggest thing I would say is they need to know why they're doing it. You need to know why you wanna do it. It's one thing to just turn on a camera because I think that that's a common answer is people like, "Just do it." Like, "Oh, just start doing it." No, I think at this point, there's enough people doing it that you really need to know why you want to do it. What is your purpose? Is it for you? Is it to engage with other people? Is it to make a career out of it? Why are you doing it? And then you need to come up with a strategy as to how you're gonna make that work because it's not enough to just sit down and start streaming. It's just not, and not right now. There's too many people doing it, and it depends on the kind of streaming you wanna do. I think we're at a point where There are so many people doing reaction content, and there are a solid 10, I think, that are the most popular and that control the algorithm, that if it's something you want to do, you really have to have something unique to bring to the space and something that's going to get you noticed. And unfortunately, I don't know that it's possible. You might need to swerve your strategy a little bit and start out with something different that's going to gain the attention of other people because so many other people are already doing the reaction thing. Original
Mhm.
content is going to garner more attention because it's different. Reactions are watching the same clip multiple times with someone's reaction. You can only watch so many of them, and it's a very easy thing to do. It's a very streamlined thing to do. But as far as longevity of it, I don't know very many popular reaction content creators that aren't trying to branch out into doing more. It's mainly just finding the time to do it because a lot of us are not full time. I'm not. I work, like I said, I was still working 40 hours a week. So I want to prove that I can do more than just reacting because it's not creative. It's personable and it engages with people, but I think there's a view of reaction content in the creator world where it's the low bearing fruit and that it doesn't require a lot of work outside of just sitting down and watching. So it's good to build more than just that, I would say. So, yes, start, but have an action plan. Know what your purpose is. You have to be able to gauge what's working and what's not. You also have to be able to know whether it's for you or not. Because unfortunately and realistically, it's not for everybody. It might be something that you want to do, but it might be something that you're just not able to do or that's not in your wheelhouse. And if it's not, and or if things just aren't working or hitting, being able to be real with yourself and have the conversation with yourself that either it's not for you or you need to find what it is you need to do to become better at it and not blame an algorithm or the audience for not interacting with you. I could go on about it forever.
Oh, 100%. And I think I'll just comment on something that you said there, but I think what other people have got to have as well is patience.
Mhm.
Like, you can't expect to get X amount of views, X amount of likes, amount of subscribers. Everyone starts off from somewhere. So
And
even
some
if
it takes longer than others.
100%, so even if they put up a video and it gets like 20 views, it's 20 more views than what you had on the last video.
Yep.
Patience is key.
Yep. The people don't see people a lot of the time it's like they don't see the long game. There's the one those of us that are bringing in a lot of views. I started on TikTok. I started on TikTok in 2020 and was getting, 1,000 views a video, no interaction. It takes the consistency of just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what worked. I didn't start out wanting to do wrestling stuff, but when I found out there was a place for it, I fell into it. So that's why it comes off as organic as it is because it is. I didn't set out from the very get-go to do this. I was bored in my
Mm.
house in 2020 with a camera and I always wanted to be a YouTuber. So, yeah.
It's true, and like patience is key, and everything takes time. That's what people need to understand.
Yes, they do. They're very difficult with that. It's 2024. You don't have patience.
Definitely true. What is the plans for Wheezyblonde in 2024? Not 2024, 2025. Sorry.
I just um, continuing to build my own brand, travel more, get out to see more wrestling shows, get to consume more wrestling that's not just WWE. And there's more that's super cool, and I can't wait to be able to do it, but I can't talk about it. So, nope.
Oh,
You just see what I see because I don't even know. So, but it's overwhelming and it's exciting.
well, anything that involves you, Mini, Conman, and Mr. Tex and Santi, your reactions, just whatever you guys have planned for 2025 is going to be big. To think what you've done this year, it can only get better. It can only keep going up, can't it?
I hope so. I
Definitely.
hope so. That's the plan.
You have been an amazing guest. We will do a few more questions and then we'll wrap it up. Who is
Okay.
your Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling?
Oh God.
I asked everyone this.
So, I'm a scatterbrain. So Becky Lynch replied to this in the same way, and I always say I have a difficult time with it because there are so many different levels of a Mount Rushmore. Like, are we talking people that are great on the microphone as a promo? Are we talking about people that are good just in ring? Are we talking hard hitters, high flyers? Are we talking entrance? Are we talking charisma? Are we talking men? Are we talking women? It's so broad. So basically, what I do is every time a Mount Rushmore, is it 5 or 4? How many is it?
4, I think.
I'm the one that lives in the US. I'm the one that lives in the US. I don't even know that. 4. So I usually just throw 4 at the wall, and they've been the same for a minute, but it's always Matt Hardy. Oh, I think I'm
Okay.
actually gonna change it up. I'm throwing Matt Hardy out there. I'm gonna throw John Cena out there. I'm gonna do The Rock, and now I'm gonna put Roman Reigns on it. Those are the 4 that I'm vibing with right now.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
You mentioned obviously you need a vacation. Where
Yeah.
would you like to go in the world?
Where would I like to go in the world? Australia. I've never been to Australia. Everyone that I
Oh,
interact with from Australia is awesome. I've not met one Australian that's like, "No, don't come here." They're like, "Yeah, come on down." I'm like, "Oh, I would love to." It's just a long travel day. But I think that's like top of my list. I've never left the continental US. I just got a passport beginning of this year and I've still not even been to Canada. So,
wow.
mhm.
I am off to Australia in February.
Are you really?
Yeah, so I'll
Where
let
are
you
you
know
going?
it. I'm going with my wife and her son. We are going to it's like 3 hours outside Sydney.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
So
Very cool.
that'll be really good. The whole of February, I'm gone.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, enjoy because I want to go. Let me know how it is.
Well, I will do. Just a quick question. Why didn't you say the UK?
Why didn't I say the UK?
Yeah. Why you not come to
One,
London for a
you guys
vacation?
you guys are assholes for one. Like y'all are so judgy. Don't act like you guys are so judgy when it comes to Americans. I've had so many people from the UK be so nose up in the air, condescending, talking crap about Americans like you know shit. And I'm like, no, like, you don't even live here. Be quiet. And also, majority of it is just cold and crowded. And you guys aren't nice. That's
I'm
my
not.
well, it's in
It's
public. Would you be kind to a stranger in
I'll,
public? It's
I'll let
wrong.
you off.
I don't know. I'm Midwest nice, man. I've not heard good things about the No, honestly, probably the UK is fine, but not at top of my list. I like
Well, Mr.
gently
Tesh is from the UK.
He what?
Mr. Tesh is from the UK.
Yeah, and he's not nice. Like, that makes perfect sense. Like, that's a terrible
Wow.
pitch that Mr. Tesh came from the UK. Of course he did. That checks.
Come over to the UK, see the Royal, Palace and have some fish and chips. Yeah.
Yeah, I someday. I'm absolutely certain that I will be there someday. It's gonna probably be a WWE event that takes me there. But we'll see which one.
Ooh. Elimination Chamber 2025, apparently. Have you seen that?
I would try to make it. I could try to make it. I have a passport now. I can leave.
That's true. Bring your husband as well. I'm sure he'd love it.
He doesn't have a passport.
But I did not expect that.
He's
Wow. So we'll kick it off with one final question. I always ask everyone this, and the fact that we've been talking about in this video mental health and stuff like that, I always ask all my guests that I've had on an inspirational message to wrap it up. What is yours?
Oh my goodness. Oh, I don't want to be too deep, but I touched on it earlier, but life is too short. Tomorrow is not promised. Don't sweat the small stuff, like, because you just never know what's going to happen. Like, enjoy your health and your ability to do things. Never say that you can't do anything. Never put anything off until tomorrow if you can. Life is just too short. Things can change in the blink of an eye. And when things do change, it takes everything in you not to fall apart, but keep going because you get one shot at this. You get one shot at this. It's all you get. So use your time wisely and be the person you want to be, not the person you think everybody else wants you to be.
I love that one. Wheezy, thank you very much for coming on. You know how grateful I am for this.
Thanks for having me, dog. Appreciate it.
You are a gem. I will continue supporting you, watching your live streamings, reaction videos,
Thanks.
everything that you do. I will keep up to date with you because I am such a huge fan of yours. Like I said, you know, I'm very, very grateful for this.
Thanks. You're welcome.
Thank you for coming on.
You're
I
welcome.
will hopefully try and get you in 2025.
Okay, we'll see. I'll be here.
Question though, do I have to do another pitch?
Probably not. Probably not.
Awesome. I'm just checking.
I've accepted the message request, so I mean it'll pop up now.
Yeah. No, seriously, thank you. I appreciate it.
Anytime. Thanks again.
I hope you have a good rest of your day. It's getting dark in the UK now. It's getting that time of year again.
Time for you to go to sleep. It's time for me to get to work. Go guys, 12:30.
No, seriously, thank you. Take it easy.
Thanks.
Bye.